Hey, let me ask you this question, because you played in the league. Do veteran quarterbacks typically like communicate with the other quarterbacks? Because I know for a fact Aaron Rodgers ain't helping out Jordan Love. I mean, you know that. I know that. It's been put out there, and I don't think Green Bay Packer fans care, right? Because they got an Aaron Rodgers. But do you see that? Does that happen? Is this normal? Like, what do you think?
I think all quarterbacks are different. You have some guys that are just like, listen, I know you're here to take my spot. You're going to have to learn by watching what I do, and I'm not going to talk to you as much. And I think that was the case between Favre and Aaron Rodgers, right?
And Aaron Rodgers, yeah.
But I think the situation, you could look at it one or two ways. And I look at it with my experience, right? I'm with the New York Jets. I'm a rookie. They draft D. Milliner. Obviously there is Antonio Cromartie. I remember being in the meeting room. I remember when they drafted D. Milliner number 9 overall. Cromartie was like, I know I ain't going to be here next year. And he wasn't. He was right. He wasn't there the next year. But he didn't let that affect how he interacted with the rookie D. Milliner. You know what I'm saying? He still was like, hey, do this, do that, woo, woo. Even with me, I mean, he didn't have to. Like, Cromartie didn't have to pull me aside and be like, hey, instead of doing this, do like this. And he would just stand there and work with me on things with like my press technique and, hey, use this technique right here with your feet. Or, hey, if you get this type of release, try this step, So I think a lot of it depends on the person and understanding what their role is and what the situation is. I think with Jimmy Garoppolo, I would assume he would be more inclined to help Trey Lance because he knows he's gone, right? Like at the end of the day, they use all this draft capital to trade up to number 3 overall to draft this quarterback. I'm out of here. As opposed to, a guy like, let's say, Aaron Rodgers and Jordan Love, or Tom Brady and Jimmy Garoppolo. Tom Brady and Jimmy Garoppolo, I mean, Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers feel like, how dare I'm at the peak of my game still. Like, I'm balling. How dare you bring in somebody and he's supposed to be the future? I'm going to go out there and show you I ain't done. I'm playing several more years at a very high level. And I think that's why maybe it comes off as different when you look at the situation between those guys and maybe Jimmy Garoppolo being a little bit more open to helping Trey Lance. Now, again, I'm pretty sure there was a little awkwardness because everybody in the locker room knows kind of what the deal is. I saw this firsthand with Geno Smith and Mark Sanchez, where Geno was drafted. He was drafted 2nd round. Mark Sanchez, he had went to 2 AFC championship games with the Jets. And you got Geno coming in, and it was just like, okay, Geno's going to be the guy, but I thought Mark Sanchez still handled it well in the sense of helping him from what I saw. Now, again, I was a defensive guy. Those guys were on offense, but just seeing how they interacted in the locker room, seeing how they interacted with me. I spent more time with Geno. Like, you know what I'm saying? We'd be chilling in the hotels and stuff like that. I didn't really spend time with Sanchez unless we were like in the locker room just talking or messing around. I thought he did a good job of just kind of letting everybody know I'm just a guy. But I think sometimes when the writing's on the wall, it's a little bit more acceptable for the quarterback. Right. But when you are a guy like Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, where you've played at such a high level, it's probably more of a how dare you thing. And or even Brett Favre, it's like a how dare you bring somebody in when I'm playing at such a high level, and it's probably harder to help that younger guy. That's just, again, my kind of assumption. We had a super chat here from 49ers Daddy. Said, in my opinion, Alex Smith is a rare breed as a mentor. See, I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, I think, again, he had to go through this twice. And both times, I'm sure he did not like the situation. Now, especially with the Kaepernick situation, the 49ers, it's like Alex Smith had went through so many tough times with the 49ers. I mean, they were asked. Everybody wanted to get rid of Alex Smith. Even when they brought him back for that 1 year, when they had re-signed him, people were like, oh my gosh, why is Harbaugh bringing him back? And then next thing you know, he has a great year. They go to the NFC Championship game. I'm pretty sure he's thinking like, okay, I'm finally in my groove. I'm finally finding like where I fit. I'm playing well. At the time he got hurt, I believe the 49ers were probably like, 7-1 at that time. And I think they ended up losing that game. So they ended up being 7-2 in his starts to start that year. He gets a concussion. Kaepernick gets his opportunity, and they never look back. I know that's tough. even if he did help, just that type of situation of feeling like, hey, this is my team. All of a sudden it's not my team. It's this guy number 7's team, that's tough. So I'm pretty sure because of that experience, he was better suited to deal with it with Mahomes and kind of understanding the writing was on the wall. But what are kind of your thoughts on Alex Smith as a mentor?
Yeah, man. If he was a mentor, I don't know. That's tough because I know Alex Smith is still bitter to that regime in San Francisco, right? Like he loves San Francisco. He loves the team and or whatnot. But that particular regime, I think he felt like they did him dirty, right? Because all he did was get injured, and he lost his job from an injury, not because of his gameplay, like not because of the decline of Alex Smith. It was more like, yo, man, this kid is hot and he doing things you ain't doing. So we're just gonna stick with the hot hand. And so I'm not even knocking Harbaugh for that, because Cap was something different. He provided a whole different type of electricity, you know what I'm saying, to the San Francisco brand, right? And so it was just weird. So for Alex to kind of mentor Cap, I don't see it much. But maybe, like you said, since he started to understand, hey man, this is how the business is, yo. Like you're as good as your last game, yo. And so it is what it is. So when I come into Kansas City, he was doing his thing there too. And the thing that made that worse is they drafted Patrick Mahomes, right? So he kind of knew his time was coming to an end.
Well, they drafted Kaepernick too, though. Remember, they drafted Kaepernick second round this same year.
But we didn't know. We didn't know who Kaepernick.
It wasn't as high. Yeah, like the more you invest, the more you know. So they traded up for Mahomes. Right. They traded up from pick 27 to pick 10, I believe it was. So it's like, okay, somebody moving up 17 spots.
Right.
The writing is kind of on the wall.
Right, it's on the wall, right? So when Mahomes is ready, he's gonna be ready.
But also will say this in that situation. Alex Smith started that entire year. So it probably is also a little easier prep, hey, for teaching the young guy, teaching Mahomes, because, hey, this is what I'm seeing right here. This is why I did that. Knowing, okay, at the end of the year, I'm probably going to be gone, but I can help you along the way because, hey, I'm balling. I'm having the best year of my career, statistically. Statistically, at the best year of his career. I'm playing at a high level. Jimmy, and maybe Jimmy might look at it, hey, I got a thumb injury. If it wasn't for the thumb injury, I'd be starting, so let me help the young guy. But I don't know. I think Symmetry 7 said it best, man. How often do the cameras show the sideline? Because you haven't seen Jimmy talk to Trey in a 5-second flash. Y'all got to knock it off. And I agree. And that's my thing, where it's like, we don't know. Like, yeah, they do show certain things, or sometimes they'll pan to the sideline and you'll see a guy sitting there. We didn't see it, but because we didn't see it, that doesn't mean that it didn't happen. Or it doesn't mean that it's not happening in practice. Or that doesn't mean that it's not happening in the meeting room. So there could be some help. A lot of help going on. Jimmy doesn't strike me as someone that would have the type of attitude to not help the younger guy.